Babylon is falling. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachakwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And I just wanted to do a video real quick, an article that was shared by the brother GMS Austere Man. Okay. And this article here says, now, if you was not born under a rock, you would know as of late that the CFO, which I'm not sure what that is an acronym for, but the CFO Bed Bath and Beyond, this man jumps from a New York City's Jenga tower committing suicide. So for them to confirm that his death was a suicide confirms that he is dead. He did not survive, okay? Okay, and look at the time this was posted. This was posted at 10:44. Okay, now if you take out the 0, you get what? 144. Why is that? Because this is the time for the Lord to bring down Babylon and to raise up his elect men, which the 144,000 is a part of the 1/3. Okay, the 144,000 is a part of the 1/3. So the Lord is raising up his elect men. His elect men are proclaiming the downfall and the defeat and destruction of Babylon, also known as America. And as this kingdom goes down, what do you see here? You see Edomites committing suicide. Now, for many years, you Edomites, you have lived luxuriously. You have lived in the best apartments, the best hotels, the best houses, the best mansions, the best of everything. And that's really going back to the blessing of your forefather Esau, where in the book of Genesis, the 27th chapter, Esau was blessed with the fatness of the earth. Now, it's not just talking about the whole earth. That's talking about the best areas of the earth. Okay? That's talking about the best areas of the earth. So you Edomites, you're living in the best areas of the earth. And you've been living it up real good in this society, reaping the benefits from off of the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors during slavery. But now that your time is up, now that you see that your kingdom is through, you see that your people is through, what are you doing? Now you're committing suicide. Because you see that your kingdom is finished. And now it's time for y'all to pay the price. You got to pay for what you did to the nation of Israel. And indeed, you will pay when Yahweh Shai returns, deliver his elect men, whosoever they may be out there, and then put you Edomites in slavery. Okay? The moment you Edomites go through just a little bit of pressure, your first instinct is to end your life. Here it is, our people have been living on the bottom. Our people have been homeless, poor, begging for money on the streets. And yet, how often do you hear about our people committing suicide? But you Edomites, though, you go through just a little bit of hardship, and your first instinct that kicks into your mind is to take out your family and then take yourself out. But of course, he didn't take out his wife. He just said, it's the end of the world. Woo! And he just jumped out the window, and that was that. And there's going to be more stories like this. Okay, now apparently This guy owed billions of dollars. And let's be reminded that not only did this guy owe billions of dollars, but they also confirmed that over 150 of his businesses was going to be closing down around the United States of America. And a matter of fact, we have a Bath and Beyond down here in Niagara Falls, New York. And guess what? That department store is closed. Okay? Because he makes billions of dollars yearly. I'm talking yearly, just off of these different department stores. Okay? So Jeremiah chapter 51 verse 5. For Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah his power. So the Lord did not forsake us. And the proof that the Lord did not forsake us is the fact that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is bringing this kingdom down. So there's your proof that the Lord have not forsaken us. Because if the Lord was against us, this kingdom would still be running in mint condition. You know, we'll be seeing, we'd be struggling amongst our oppressors. You know, we wouldn't be seeing all these miracles happen. You know. So we have not been forsaken, okay? It says, for Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah his power, of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the Lord of hosts, through their land. Oh, it says, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Verse 6, it says, flee out of the midst of Babylon. Right. Now, you Edomites living here in the United States of America, if you were smart, you would leave this land. You know, find somewhere else to go to enjoy the rest of your life, because this country is through. It's through times 2.0. Okay, this country is through. Flee out of the midst of Babylon. And you know who else is fleeing out of the midst of Babylon? These heathens. A lot of Arabs are beginning to close up shop. They're beginning to go back to their country because they're beginning to see that their business will be more profitable in their own country than over here in the States. Okay, a lot of Chinese people are closing down their businesses. East Indians are closing down their businesses and they're going back overseas because they see this country is finished. Also, flee out of the midst of Babylon, go two ways, because this is also talking about spiritually. You know, if you're a Hebrew Israelite, you know, if you can hear and understand this word, come up out of the ways of this kingdom. So when it says flee out of the midst of Babylon, that means come up out of the ways of this kingdom. Because the ways of this kingdom shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. Alright, Salakia, I am back. Sorry about that. So if you're a Hebrew Israelite, which would be a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native Indian, you got to come up out of the ways of this wicked country, because the ways of this country will destroy you, even with a sore destruction. So it says, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. And how do you deliver your soul? You deliver your soul by coming back to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. It says, be not cut off in her iniquity. Right? Don't be cut off in the sins of this country, because this country promotes only sin. I mean, we're talking smoking, adultery, tattoos, selling drugs, gang banging, violence, you know, variance, chambering, drunkenness, idol worship, doest thou will, different philosophies, eating unclean foods. This country promotes nothing but wickedness, morally wrongness. For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. And one of the ways that the Lord is rendering unto this country a recompense is, well, look at the condition of the people that have rule over this country. You know, some of the most richest people here in the U.S. are committing suicide. That's the part of the Lord taking vengeance on this country. But the Lord will indeed take vengeance on this country during the time of the nuclear war of World War III. Especially when he sent his son back to attack and destroy this kingdom. Okay, let's go to verse 7. It says, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. Right, in which Babylon is America, not the Roman Catholic Church. Okay, the Roman Catholic Church does not have influence over the whole entire world like the United States of America does. Okay, and Babylon is also known as that great city in the book of Revelation, the 11th chapter. Okay, the Roman Catholic Church is not a city. It is just as you say it is. It is a Roman Catholic Church. Okay, America is that great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. Okay, where was slavery? Well, where did Egypt goes back to the Hebrew word maktazarium, which means a bondage, in which bondage is another word for slavery. Where did slavery take place at? In the Roman Catholic Church, or did slavery take place over here in the United States of America? Okay, so Babylon is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. So the United States of America, which is that great city, is Babylon. Okay, America is Babylon. It says the nations have drunken of her wine, that wine being the democracy. Therefore, the nations are mad. Right, they lost their mind. You know, you look at these Chinese nations, they're through, man. They are destroyed as a nation of people because they decided to take on the ways of Babylon. The women are whores. The women are all out of line, wearing yoga pants and tight clothing. You know, the men have been effeminized down there. You know, China rules with some of America's democracy with a little bit of their own traditions. Okay, Japan, same thing. You know, women out of line, men have been effeminized. You know, they pretty much eat anything. It says, look at these Arabian countries. Their women wearing pants, heads uncovered. You know, just everything's out of whack. But that comes from America's democracy, which is that wine. Okay, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. Okay, if so be, she may be healed. In which this country is not going to be healed. The proof of that is the fact that this guy right here, he lost over 150 different businesses. Okay, he lost over 150 different businesses. And then on top of that, he's billions of dollars in debt. So this country is not being healed. If this country was being healed, he would be in a much better position than he is now. He wouldn't have to commit suicide, you know. He'd be sitting somewhere on a nice beach, you know, with his wife, drinking a large glass of lemonade, wearing some shades and some sunscreen, you know, listening to the seagulls on the beach and the water flowing. But no, this country is not being healed. Okay, the only way this country is going is down. More businesses will continue to go out of business. More corporations will continue to shut down, and there's going to be more suicides like this because the Lord is bringing this country down. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Right, she is not healed. Okay, and the fact that she's not being healed, you know, shows that this country is heading more and further into debt. Okay, This country is heading even further into debt. It says, forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country, right? For her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. Okay? Her judgment reacheth onto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. Okay? Now, let's get Isaiah chapter 47, verse 1. Okay? Isaiah 47, verse 1. It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Okay, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, which the dust represents confusion. You know, your mainstream media will tell you that everything is going just fine. The Dow Jones just received a couple of points. The economy is starting to bounce back, and this, that, fourth, and the other. Dilly, dilly, shally, shally, blase, blase, yada, yada, you know. But then, you know, you turn on the news the next morning and you hear about a CFO committing suicide after jumping from an 18-story building. The window of a 18-story, the window of an 18-floor building. You see? So that's confusion. Furthermore, when you look up this word dust, it also goes back to a Hebrew word, which I forgot the name of it, but it means ashes. Because this country is going to be in ashes after the post-nuclear destruction during World War III. Okay? It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne. Right, a throne is a symbol of rulership. Okay? So there is no throne. You know? So the Lord is taking away the rulership of this country. And you can see it. How this country is going down little by little. It says, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Right? You shall no more be called tender and delicate. Okay? This country is no longer being called tender and delicate. Right? When this country, in a matter of fact, in the late 1800s into the early 1900s, when people was investing into the stock market, right? People will go to the stock market in order to become wealthy, to become rich, right? This was around what people will call the golden age, where people could just go to the stock market, borrow bonds and stocks, and become rich. Be rich, be set for the rest of their life. You know, back then, you could buy a month's worth of groceries with a $5 or even a $10 bill. Okay, because food was so cheap. Okay, corn would be like what, 5 cents. You know, a box of cereal would probably be like 2 cents. You know, food was really cheap back then. Chicken would probably be like 50 cents. You know, steak would probably be like 50 cents. You know, a glass of milk would probably be like 15 cents. So you could literally buy a month's worth of groceries with a $5 bill back then. And I'm talking about the late 1800s going into the early 1900s, around the golden age. This is when America was called tender and delicate. You think Edomites were committing suicide around this time? No. They were living it up. You know, they were hanging so-called Negroes, so-called colored folks, taking pictures. They had fun castrating and torturing us. But now look, it's not so fun and games anymore for you Edomites, is it? Now you're jumping out of buildings and committing suicide because not only are you billions of dollars in debt, but you're losing money because over 150 Different of your businesses are closing down around the United States of America. So you missing out on billions of dollars right there. And while you're in debt, you must also take into account that you got bills to pay. Because where you're living at is not free. I'm pretty sure it's not free. You got to pay rent. You got to pay bills. You got to pay internet. You know, you got to pay utility. So all that, you know, that's that's too much pressure on you devils. Okay. And like the brother said up here, you know, get ready to see more of this. Because the Lord is bringing our enemies down, man. Kwam Yasha Allah, Shalom is on to the next one.